Hi, and welcome to Birds of a Bottle.
We've got to think about wine.
And we want you to have a think about wine too.
And this week we're looking at wines that are reassuringly inexpensive.
Yes, it's January and we've all been overdoing it, haven't we?
Yeah.
And so it's time to rein in that ridiculous overspending.
But obviously we're going to need a nice glass of wine because January can be a bit bleak and miserable,
Can't it? Now, we are always scouting around for something that's cheap yet delicious at the same time.
Yeah, and we found you 4 really drinkable bottles that'll help you balance the books.
Okay, for our first cheapie we have this Tesco French White, which is a non-vintage and just £3.75 a bottle.
Excellent.
How cool is that?
Excellent price. Now, this is made from Uni Blanc, Chardonnay and Grenache Blanc, and it's made in the south of France.
Yeah. Now, it might not sound very appetising when you know that Uni Blanc is the same grape as Trebbiano, which is used in Italy, and that is also Trebbiano used for making balsamic vinegar.
Yes. Now, it has to be said, Uni Blanc is a bit of a workhorse grape. You know, the wines it makes in Italy, Orvieto is neutral to say the least.
Yeah. But there's certainly nothing vinegary about this wine, is there? Lovely fresh nose, fresh, vaguely fruity, but quite nicely fruity.
Yeah, but on the palate, because I got in there first, it's fruity, it's fresh.
There's a bit of sweetness in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Chill this really well.
Yeah.
Chill it really well.
It's quite a pleasant wine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's £3.75. You know, you're not going to talk about it for hours and hours and hours, but it is a very pleasant wine for £3.75.
It is easy, simple to drink, and just what you really want in January. Now, the thing about January as well is generally you want to simplify things and declutter, don't you?
Yes.
It's time to get rid of all that Christmas chaos, and to have a good spring clean and do things like, is this a girly thing? You know, start your new diary. Trying to do really neat handwriting. Whereas, the old diary, it's kind of all over the place, scribbles at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, this is the time of year when going to the tip is even more cathartic the rest of the time, isn't it?
Yeah, and forget about that gym membership. You'll get a good workout just taking those Christmas bottles down there.
Our second white is a fistful of schist, Chenin Blanc, which is quite difficult to say.
It is.
2013 vintage, and it's £5.95 at the Wine Society.
I'm glad I gave that to Mel to say.
And this is from Swartland in South Africa.
Now, you don't really think of wine clubs as having cheap wines, do you?
Not at all, no.
But the Wine Society, they have loads of them.
Yeah.
Or should I say fistfuls?
Fistfuls of them. It smells glorious. And also, look at the label. Look at the label, how beautifully blue. It's sort of duck eggy blue. That is
It's
so
delightful,
right.
and it's fragrant and sweetly ripe.
Yeah, that is not a £5.95 smell, is it?
It's not. It's not. It promises so much.
It's really ripe. Lovely. It's bone dry, isn't it?
Yes.
It's bordering on bitter. It's so dry.
There's a little saline note in there,
There's a saline note on it.
which is really fresh and really mouth-watering, isn't it?
I love it. I love it.
Oh.
And there is also sort of slightly mineral stoniness, but don't sound too much like a Ponzi wine writer.
Well, I think that's where that saline
Yeah.
feel is coming from, isn't it? But it's got a lovely feel in your mouth. It's really good depth of flavour for the price.
Because for the last month or so, we have spent to the most ridiculous level, haven't we? All of us. You'll go out for a £3 piece of Stilton and come back with a little Stilton pot with a lid on for £15.95.
Pretty, but ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah, and you suddenly feel you needed a beautiful table decoration.
Yeah.
It costs £40 for just a few pine cones and maybe a little bit of holly. And that's well dead by now, so that was a ridiculous amount of money to spend.
Yes. And don't get me started on crackers.
We're on to the reds now, and for the first we have this Taste the Difference Mars and May 2012, which is available from Sainsbury's at, well, a little bit more, at £6.49.
Yeah, that's still quite cheap though, isn't it?
It is.
This is from the Veneto wine region, which is the vineyards around Venice, and obviously not applicable at the moment, but when it's a little warm and there isn't snow on the ground, this is delicious chilled, interestingly.
Yeah, definitely not for now then.
A lovely smell.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Oh,
Some cherries.
Yeah, cherries and a bit nutty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
Mm.
Nice wine.
Mm.
It's savoury, isn't it?
It is savoury.
That's not a fruit bomb at all. There's enough fruit, but it definitely leads with its savoury flavour.
Yeah, it's sort of a bit of sour cherry as well. It does taste Italian, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's all sort of juicy cherries, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it is. And it's going to go with the pasta, isn't it? This absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, it's nice enough to drink by itself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's quite a good aperitif wine, really, and in summer as well. I mean, I know we're not there yet, but
Yeah, sure.
hey, you know. Definitely. Now, think about this. You can't even buy a CD for a stocking for £6.49.
Stockings. Don't get me started on stockings. I spent an absolute fortune on all sorts of small stuff that ought to be cheap and just wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, whatever happened to a pair of socks and a tangerine,
Exactly. Nowadays it's all Pandora beads or Jack Will's iPhone 5 covers for £19.50, if you please.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you've got kids who are 18 plus, what you could have done was you could have put one of these in the stocking. It would have taken up loads of space. £6.49.
Brilliant. And our last wine is the Estevez Cabernet Sauvignon Carmenere 2011 vintage, which is £4.99 from Aldi.
Now, it says Reserva on the label, but in Chile, Reserva doesn't really mean anything, does it?
No.
I mean, it's just their everyday level for wines.
Yeah. Ooh. It's got a lovely sort of creamy but stalky Cabernet nose, doesn't it?
Oh, it has. Yeah, I'm not getting much from the Carmenere on the nose there.
Oh, it's yummy.
It smells very ripe, doesn't it?
It's very sort of plain chocolate, spicy, oaky taste.
Oh.
Rich,
Yeah.
ripe.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Cabernet, a lot of sort of cassis on that, isn't there?
Yeah, and definitely the chocolate's there. Really, really black chocolate.
Yeah.
A nice green freshness as well to it. Nice.
So it's £4.99.
£4.99. And actually, this will be good with turkey curry if you've got any left.
And you will have some left, as we all will, because you'll have bought the biggest turkey in the shop. You'll have bought a mega gammon. You'll have bought the bumper super size of chocolate biscuits. And, like me, chances are you'll have bought the king size tub of Quality Street.
Any of those left, Mel? Yeah, and if you never see another crystallised kumquat again, it'll be too soon, won't it?
And actually, at this time of year, what you really need is a nice plain glass of wine and a lightly dressed salad.
Perfect.
Yum.
See you next time.
See you next time.